lighting is everything. So I see you guys did do some grass cutting, awesome work. We're just going to want to make sure that everything's lit up for the video and the pictures. And then even little things like this isn't a big deal, but if you do have weed killer and you have some extra time, we can get rid of any things that look like that. I actually just sprayed all my cracks with weed killer. So that anywhere you see, that's the only one I can see. So if that's, oh, you know what? That's not even in there. I don't think. Just kidding. Maybe you guys don't need weed killer. But even if we had some like extra lighting, even some hanging lights, if you do want to do some outside video, these are just extra things you can do, but I can show you samples of pictures that are taken with outside lighting that just look phenomenal. So the lighting inside is definitely going to be our top priority. So any lighting that isn't working, if those lights can be replaced, and then all the windows to be open or at least letting light in. So I see over here, we do see that there's still light coming in. So I guess I'm going to leave that to your discretion.
Oh, I would open it.
Okay.
Unless you want to see it open, Dan, because it's a difference on like what you want to be visioned outside from here.
Okay.
Or not, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like,
I mean, if they can be opened, I would probably prefer it. Oh, perfect. Okay. And then the photographer, actually, he might change some things based on the time of day and where the sun is.
Yeah.
So sometimes he's like, oh, we have to take this part first or later. Just because obviously the sun is gonna impact how it's gonna look. I would say any of these areas that we can work on.
all gonna be patched and painted.
Perfect. Do we have a color or are we doing it the same?
I do. You're gonna ask me all that. But
Okay.
Really the same, just so we don't.
Okay. I do actually have paint color recommendations that can help. And those recommendations, again, just a suggestion, you don't have to, but it will raise your value. I know that yellow is, I wouldn't suggest it just because I know it's not gonna bring you back the most value if it's like not too terrible to do it. This doesn't, well, how much area are you planning to do? Because if we're gonna leave everything and just patch it, then maybe that's too much area.
Well, that's just it, because this is all like.
Okay. Okay, but for this area and then any of these switches, I would definitely recommend. This is not a bad color at all, as long as it's well lit, as you can see, because the light in here does make it pop a little bit more, but if it's not well lit, it's gonna seem too dark. They're considering changing all the yellow. Suggestion to take the bathroom color and have it match with the laundry room, so that it's all the same color. And
That's what that
can
gray was
still
for.
be.
That's what that gray was for the bathroom and the laundry room.
Okay. So for this room, it's kind of more of a neutral color. You can keep it the same, or if you wanted to do it one of the other off-white colors, or even like a super light gray. But I would not go too dark in a bedroom.
Yeah, like, yeah. And this is pretty light.
This wall, I would do probably that off-white color.
All that same.
All the same. Yep. For this room, you could make where the bedroom lays against as an accent color. So you could do that like a light gray if you wanted to, and then you could make all the other walls that off-white color, because that could just give that accent wall back there next to the bathroom kind of just an extra little touch. That's one option. I would suggest that the most, or you could make this other wall the accent color. But I would probably...
like minimize all this dressers away, side
Perfect.
away.
And
Just
then
basically bed.
yes. And then anything that you see, any little like knickknacks or clutter, if you have any big items, those are okay if they're spaced
It's
out.
just, like, it's probably gonna be all somehow, some way.
It's
like,
gonna be
all
gone. Okay, perfect. There's gonna be all new doors and closet doors with matching handles.
Right, and then 2 matching sinks, stripping all this down, and probably staining it
Ooh, perfect.
to stain that so that looks fresh.
Okay.
And
The
this never had a
sofa's
light in
getting
this closet, so that's what
replaced.
this is. I'm putting the light in there.
Okay.
And that retractable.
And actually, this is
I
rechargeable.
just told you.
So when I put in, this is so when I put in the light, I'm adding it onto a switch that half is always on.
Okay.
So that way this can always be plugged in and charged, so it'll never run out of juice. And then the other half will be controlled on the switch, and the light that's going to be in there is a plug-in.
Very cool.
So that'll run that way. This, I've already showed Katie where we're gonna sand it all down, and I'm gonna stain it, and we're gonna put a new top on.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna clean that out, clean it, and then cover it.
I'm excited to see the.
I'm gonna clean all that, fill in that hole, clean all that, sand that down, replace anything that looks like it's corroded, because there's no water issue anymore.
Okay.
So I don't want that to be an end point.
Right.
And then I'm gonna paint it, and then I'm gonna put it all back up.
All right.
And everything that I'm not gonna replace, I make sure all the bulbs are the same color. And
Perfect.
So.
That's awesome. So in here in the kitchen, we're gonna do that light gray color, and it's really gonna help this color of the cabinets and the tile pop a little bit more. And even this right here, these doors, these barn doors are gonna match more so with that lighter gray color.
That
So
treadmill, I don't know where and how, but that's gonna go.
in this
So I don't
room,
want the capture gonna go.
in this room, we're discussing possibilities for some of the staining that's on the floor.
And there's a stain in the living room floor.
So what we could do
Sand.
is we could have somebody refurbish the floor. I don't necessarily recommend trying to virtually stage that out because that would be considered deceptive.
What about like that tile there?
What tile?
I don't.
You see how it's coming off the thing?
You mean this?
No. That I could put some trimmer on. That's not a problem with that. That giant broken piece.
It's kind of hidden. It's something that could potentially come up if they do get an inspection, but that would be lower on my priority list because it's not.
The only other thing is if you stand back, you see the swoop in the ceiling.
I'm gonna talk to Joe about that. I'm talking to Joe about that.
Okay.
Because that's the original, like the water issue that was there. Like you can see there. So I'm gonna rip that all out and I'm gonna try to patch and paint and fix the ceiling.
That's because
so that
it
it
was
doesn't do
fixed.
that.
My ex-husband didn't fix it.
Okay. Okay.
And I want to sand and paint like the whole ceiling actually.
Sure.
I just,
Oh. Okay.
So it's like here, there's one in the living room that happened a long time ago, and then the dog gate went up.
Before we leave this room, though, I just want to finish with the suggestions for virtual staging. So for here, because this furniture, even though it's nicer, is big, it's gonna make this room look a lot smaller than it actually is, because this is a massive room. So if we remove
What if we put those black couches in here instead?
the treadmill, if we remove this, or maybe even not, because it could be like,
Well, there's okay. So
Make this look like it was a game room.
the living room, those couches are going, unless we want to take some of this furniture and put it in there, and just virtually empty this room out.
okay. And then also, and I apologize, I'm just trying to get this room done and recorded so
Okay.
that we don't forget. But as far as those bookshelves go, even if you had like a few books on one of them and then maybe like one decoration
Yeah,
and kind of
that's-
just
Would it be
spaced
I
out,
already
like
started
this
getting-
area for
got
like the
rid of
Lego,
those.
like keep the Legos
No,
like that,
no
or get rid of
personal.
them?
I would not leave the Legos there.
Legos gotta go and get packed away. Anything that looks too personal.
And then this green color, because this is a larger room, I would play around with those lighter colors, and I would probably make this the whiter, the off-white color. Or if you wanted to do like an accent wall where one wall is that lighter gray and the rest are the lighter off-white colors. But this is such a big room that I probably would most likely recommend doing that off-white color in here. That would be my best suggestion. I would suggest removing all the photos except maybe that one in the left corner, just because that white is brighter and it's gonna pop. But as far as everything else, we're gonna try to get this room as minimal as possible and take some photos of this room before they move all of the other stuff from the other rooms into this room. So that way this room is minimal and we could potentially decide if we wanted to virtually stage this room. I would probably leave that plant in the corner as well, because it goes very nice with that picture right there. But as far as the piano,
I was just
what are you thinking about the
I
piano?
don't even know if we put it up high.
Okay.
I don't want it.
Okay. I don't even necessarily think it's bad to have, as long as there's maybe not as many things on
Yeah,
it.
no, that would.
Okay. Okay, so the carpet and paint are the single least expensive things you can do to raise the value. I would recommend, if there are stains in the carpet, try your best to get those out, or else you may want to consider replacing